at Hello Friends. We all appreciate a beautiful pair of shoes, don't we? That feeling of slipping on something new and special. But have you ever wondered what happens when that love turns into something more? Imagine a little girl named Karen. Her love for dazzling footwear wasn't just a fleeting fancy, it was so intense, it bordered on obsession. But even though she came from very little, with hardly a coin to her name, those desires were mighty and vast. Karen lived a hard life, a life where necessities always came before luxuries. A warm meal, a roof over her head, those were the daily victories. Yet every spare moment, every quiet second was spent lost in a daydream. She dreamed of the sparkle and glamour, the confidence and beauty that she believed a perfect pair of shoes could bring into her life. They weren't just leather and thread to her, they were a symbol of a whole different world. Then, one day, like a miracle blooming in the dust, Karen found them. It's a stunning pair of rich red shoes. They were perhaps a bit too bright, a little too proud for a humble girl. But to Karen's eyes, they were absolute perfection. All her dreams, all her longings seemed to be captured in their shiny, crimson surface. Her loving mother, however, saw something else. She saw the glint of vanity, a flicker of pride in Karen's eyes that worried her. With a heavy heart, she issued a solemn warning, a gentle but firm plea for her daughter to choose practicality and humility. She reminded Karen that true worth isn't found in what we wear, but in who we are. But fate, as it often is in these old tales, can be cruel and swift. Not long after that warning, a deep sorrow descended upon their small, humble home. Karen's dear mother passed away, leaving the young girl utterly alone with a grief that felt too big for her small shoulders to carry. In her deepest sadness, as she mourned the loss of her mother, the vanity that lay dormant inside her began to stir. The memory of her mother's warning echoed in her mind, a faint and fading whisper. But the pull of those shiny red shoes, a beacon of brightness in her dark world, was simply too strong to resist. And so Karen broke her promise. In the very moment she should have shown the deepest respect and humility, she chose pride. She wore the bright, defiant red shoes to her own mother's funeral. They stood out like a shout in a quiet room, a symbol of a choice that would change everything. Mercifully, Karen was not left to fend for herself in her grief. A kind elderly woman, gentle in spirit and wealthy in means, saw the lonely child. She took Karen in, offering her a sanctuary, a warm home, and a chance at a wonderful new life, far from the hardships she had known. Under the old woman's care, Karen now had everything she could possibly need: comfort, security, and loving guidance. She had clean clothes and plenty to eat. But as she grew older, another trait began to grow right alongside her: a powerful, unbending stubbornness. So, what does it mean to be stubborn? It means wanting your own way, no matter what. It's a refusal to listen, a closing of the ears to wisdom or advice, even when it comes from those who love you and know what's best. It's a little voice inside that says, I know better, even when you don't. Eventually, the time came for Karen to get new shoes. It was meant to be a simple outing, a quick trip to the village cobbler that would, unfortunately, turn into a great trial of wills. The old woman and the young girl entered the bustling little shop, filled with the smell of leather and wax, and there they were, resting on a shelf, catching the light just so. Super sparkly, fiery engine red shoes. They were just like the pair she'd had before, but perhaps even more beautiful, even more appealing to her no grown-up sense of vanity. Her heart gave a little leap. The kind old woman, ever practical, knew what was best. We should get these practical black shoes, dear, she advised gently. They are sensible, they'll last a long time, and we only have enough money for one necessary pair. She held up a simple, sturdy pair, the kind a young lady should wear, but stubbornness, as we know, gives us deaf ears. Karen didn't hear the wisdom. She only heard that she couldn't have what she wanted. She stamped her foot and insisted, her voice rising. She just had asterisk to have the red shoes. She was prioritizing her fleeting desire, that momentary flash of want, over all sense, reason, and the budget they had. And her insistence, her sheer willfulness, won the day. The kind old woman, sighing, spent all her savings on the bright red shoes. This selfish choice had an immediate consequence. The long journey home was painful for the old woman, who now had no money for a carriage. She had to walk, clutching her aching leg, while Karen skipped ahead. The very next day was a special church service. The old woman, knowing Karen's weakness all too well, issued a strict final decree. She looked Karen right in the eye and said, "Do not wear those silly red shoes today. We must show respect in the house of God." It was a clear and simple rule. And what happened next? Well, that's where our story takes a truly magical and cautionary turn. Karen's stubbornness is about to meet a force far greater than she could ever imagine. Be sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss the dramatic conclusion to Karen's story. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next part.